Here.
Cheryl Tucker,
Here.
Michael Serino here, Sarah Collantine,
She's absent.
She's absent.
Donna Knoxon,
Here.
Christine Murphy,
She's absent.
Ryan Pazar.
She's absent.
Are there any public comments on agenda items? No public here today, so, well, George, is George public or,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You can go both, public and.
Yeah, any public comments on non-agenda items? Nope, okay. Any amendments to the agenda? No amendments. Approval of minutes from previous meeting?
Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Not opposed. Meetings are approved. Department staff updates. Starting with the recreational division. Recreation division.
Okay, March, good month for adult and senior programs, 19 programs, 358 participants. We had spring camp, 76 registrations this year. Last year, we had 57. We are in the process of hiring staff for summer camp. We have advertised on the village website, and COD and Elmhurst College websites. We started interviewing. I want to say that we have a couple people that we have recommended. We have 6 returning from last year, so that's a nice number. And then camp registration started on St. Patrick's Day on March 17th, which is a little earlier than last year, so we'll see if it has that same effect. Athletics, spring soccer practices began this week. Games will start April 12th. We have 187 children this year, 180 last year. And we are participating again this year in the DuPage Basketball Alliance Summer League. The registrations, we're at 26 now. Last year at the same time, we were at 20. Games run June 8th through August 10th. Practices will be held here and at the Addison Park District. And the league consists of Bensonville, Itasca, Wooddale, Schaumburg, Carroll Stream, Addison, Roselle, Glendale Heights, and Villa Park. To date, we have conducted 17 fitness center orientations, where we have 2 personal trainers that are leading those orientations around the room, telling people how to properly use the equipment. That started about the 3rd week in March. And we have 19 group fitness classes that are offered each week. And we are, if I look at this, our revenue for group fitness is 2, 3, 4, a little more than 4 times what it was last year. We're at $62.97 last year, $13.85. Staff attended the Willowbrook High School job fair today. There to recruit lifeguards, swim instructors, swim aides. We are in the process of collecting communication from returning Villa Park aquatic team members. So the folks that worked with us last year or in previous years, they all get a letter. If they are, if we want them back because they performed, which is literally like 98% of the people that end up working for us, working for the village, I should say. We received several applications for lifeguards, and we're already interviewing candidates. And we have the spring lifeguarding class That'll be held at COD beginning on April 27th. Jefferson Pool is going to open Saturday, May 24th, with slightly reduced hours over Memorial Day weekend. We'll be open from 12 to 6 on the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then we're going to close while the kids are still in school, and then reopen Friday, May 30th. Early childhood, our toddler playtime, which is like our open gym. We have 14 participants plus parents, so that's continued to be very popular. We're offering ceramics. That class has gone each time we've offered it. Our Little Learners Club in the afternoon, and a couple mornings a week, we are averaging 45 participants per week. And we continue to accept registrations for preschool for the 25-26 school year. As Donna mentioned before the meeting started, we have the egg hunt at Lufkin Park. We have 53 participants registered. The same time last year, we had 29. And we have Mom and Son Night that will be held here. We will do part of that in this room, part of it in the gym. That's not until about the second week in May, so registration isn't huge, but we have 11 participants. Last year at the same time, we had 6. And Summer Festival is going to be held on June 21st. Fitness center updates. We have, as of March 31st, 1,355 memberships, $161,638. Of those 1,355 memberships, 70 of them are employees. Our visits through the end of March, 13,912. We've been open 88 days, and we're averaging 158 visits per day. Program and event participation, we have had 3,149 participants and $195,353, $195,353,000. Last year, at the same time, it was $67,000 and 1,624 participants. So participation has doubled, and revenue has tripled. Right, Greg? You know that 67,000 to 195,000?
Triple?
No, it's not more than doubled. Yeah. He can do the mental math better than I can. And just as a comparison, programs offered, last year we were at 232 through the end of March, and this year we're at 276. So I want to just emphasize again that the participants and the revenue does not include the fitness center. Those are separate. It does include open gym, but it doesn't include the fitness center. So it's very motivating to see this kind of participation. People are excited to come here. Pool passes, I just want to let you know that I went to the board meeting on March 24th, and one of the trustees made a motion to offer a discount for veterans. And the motion was to discount that rate to what seniors pay, and that passed. So that's the one thing that was different than what we talked about for those 2 meetings. And we are working on doing something very similar, the same for the fitness center with the memberships.
Question for Summerfest, do we have any new vendors or anything new we should know about, or?
But we're actually switching up some of the kid
Inflatables?
attractions. We're going to do some fewer blow-ups and a few more things that are just different than that. You know, they have a big slide, you know, they have a couple of attractions that would be something that some older kids would like. We had the trackless train last year. We're going to bring that back because that was very popular, but we are trying to switch up the,
Do they have climbing walls? Have we ever had climbing walls?
I don't think we've had a climbing wall. And I'm not sure if the companies that were,
There used to be
Talking.
portable ones.
yeah, I
We had
just,
it, what did we have over at Iowa? This was in the 90s. They'd come out and they had a portable climbing wall that they had the belayers. and-
yeah. I'm wondering
I
if
don't know
maybe
if they have them anymore. but
it
we
takes
do.
more volunteers probably, or more, excuse me, staff from the company.
I've seen
And
them
they
out
don't
there.
want
Or more of a
volunteers doing
liability,
it.
too?
They pull them on like a trailer now.
Oh, do
Yeah,
they?
Just like
they're-
just
yeah,
stand
just-
up
and
off
it
a
just
trailer
stands up,
bed or
so
whatever.
We can look into that.
But we'll look into it, certainly.
If they still do that or not, we'll look into it.
So I take it we're having more things that don't take effect of the wind and the,
I'm sorry?
with the blowing things. We're looking more to change away from things that are weather,
Like the inflatables,
the inflatables.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that could
blow over.
blow over, yeah. I mean, we've had some significant weather,
Yes, we
extreme
have.
weather. All year long, it happens now, so you just,
Well, that's why I said we're trying to move away from that, so maybe the
One
weather
thing-
won't comprehend most of it.
yeah. Yeah, one thing that'll be different is we've had the same roaming magician and balloon animal gentleman for years, and he passed away suddenly.
Oh, the animal guy?
Balloon animal.
Oh, balloon
not
animal,
animal.
okay, okay.
And magician, Gary Cantor.
Are we having animals back?
I'm not,
Last
not
year
while
we-
I'm in charge.
Okay. I know at one time we had some guy that brought out all kinds of animals or
Oh, I
whatever it
don't,
was.
the reptiles are fine,
Reptile guy.
just not petting.
Oh, not
Places.
petting zoo. I
Yeah,
meant
but reptiles are
the reptile
fine,
guy, is
yeah.
he, because I think he was missing last year or whatever it was.
Yeah, reptiles are cool.
Okay. So he's returning.
Uh-huh.
Is that a traveling team that you're talking about, that, the basketball summer league?
Well,
Is that a traveling team?
They play against other, yes,
So they play at different areas?
correct.
Okay. And what age level is that? Yeah,
5th through 8th, I believe.
okay.
I'm doing that off the top of my head. I believe it's 5th through 8th. I hope I'm right.
Is that combined, or is like fifth and sixth and then
Oh,
seventh and eighth?
right, no, it's
It's,
separated by grade, but never more than would, like 5th and 6th could play together, but we wouldn't put 5th with 8th.
correct, that's what I was wondering, they do two separate things, or do
It
they-
depends how many kids there are overall with,
Oh,
then we decide.
okay.
The committee decides how they're
The
going to do the
committee
schedule.
decides how it's broken down?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you for,
One more question. The May 30th, is that going to be regular schedule hours? That will
Yes.
go all summer long until we get to,
Yes, so that Friday will be a 12 to 7 day, which is a normal Friday hours. So we're
Okay.
we'll start our normal hours.
hours on the 30th?
Mhm.
And go through? did you say
September,
September was,
I want to say 1st, but I don't think it's 1st.
wasn't the week before that you broke it down in August?
What's that?
I think you mentioned something about it breaks down in August, that you have it only Saturday and Sunday from?
Yes, but once the Willowbrook goes back to school, we don't have enough lifeguards to be open during the week. We used to try to be open from 4 to 8, and even that was tough. Kids,
Was
they have a
hard.
lot of homework and,
Yeah,
things
okay.
like that, so.
So that it breaks down, what, in the middle of August then?
I think they go back, I think I want to say the 20th. It's either the 13th or the 20th. So after that date, we go down to only weekends. And then September 1st, I was right, is Labor Day. So that would be,
The closing.
actually, we're closing on the 31st, the day before.
Okay.
Any other questions before we move on? Excellent. Parks, Building, and Grounds Division update.
All right, thanks. Some current completed projects. The Village Hall IT office, mentioned last week, we were kind of on hold pending some things. We found an architect to work with to help us draw up some plans to get through permitting. We're working to finalize some paperwork with them, get them on board, and then get them back into the facility to start evaluating and drawing for us. Hopefully that'll start in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be on track to continue soon. The police department, second level improvements. We received a detailed scope of work estimate from a contractor. We're working to review everything with the police department now to see if we have to revise anything and then to discuss next steps. The fire station improvement projects, there have been a few changes and questions that have kind of come up while we've been working through construction documents, and it's initially pushed back our timeline a bit, roughly a month or so, from what was discussed at the previous meeting. We're now hopeful that we'll go to bid in early April or late April or early May. But the project itself, the cost update is intended to go to the village board on April 14th for that meeting, just to provide an update on the status of where the costs for everything are, and then I think a vote from there to proceed with the project and take it through bidding, so. The Jefferson Pool liner was completed about 2 weeks ago. And then last week, park staff cleaned it. We scrubbed it pretty good a couple of times. So it got a good scrub. It came out really good, though. There was some leaves and stuff in it that kind of stuck to it and left kind of like a stain that we were worried about. So it was nothing the park staff couldn't handle. So. We coordinated then with the fire department to start filling the pool, which was yesterday. We also have purchased new filter elements for the pool filter. So that's a DE filter and a pit. So all of these grids, we replaced all of them. I think the last time that happened wasn't in my time here in 7 years, I think now. So it was probably within the last 8 to 10 plus years that it happened last. So there were some holes in some of the filters, and some of the netting and mesh was kind of ripped. So it was definitely needed. It'll help us with keeping air pockets out of the filter when it gets air, and it runs harder on the pumps and everything. So it'll help us keep air out of the system, keep the pool running cleaner, longer. And it won't need to be backwashed and cleaned out as frequently, I think. So it'll be another added improvement to functioning of the pool. So, Lufkin Park, we are planning and preparing our equipment this week to soon start continued improvements out at the park. I know it was mentioned before there were some pathway issues with some slopes, which we're going to address, some washouts and things like that. Lots of additional signage, and a couple of dog stations, so, in addition to many other things. So, we're also working to complete our annual ball field cleanups and preps to start the season. So we've gotten around to many of the fields. It's been some of them are wetter than we expected, so they're taking a little bit longer, but we're basically through the baseball fields and preparing them for the season. We have our annual April list of annual startups and things we do, cleaning up landscape areas, and mulching things, so. And then upcoming projects, we're working with, for Lions Park baseball field, we'll be working with Upland Design, who also designed the park amenities out here to help us do the baseball field. We hope to sit down with them to discuss a little bit more in the coming few weeks. High Ridge Baseball Field, mentioned at the last meeting that we're working with youth baseball and sports fields. Reached out to sports fields, and it's still early in the season and conditions aren't ideal for them to be driving their heavy equipment out there to work on some things and do that. So we're hopeful that changes here in the coming week or two and we can get them out, but we keep monitoring the weather and things like that and conditions to see when we can get them out. And then the Parks Office break and restroom areas, we're also looking to have some design help with that. And then we're looking to meet with companies for furniture design, layout, and cost estimates and stuff, so help us out too. So that is all I have.
Couple of questions. I know we talked about the signs for the animals and the plants. Did we ever get signs for like what to feed the ducks, what not to feed, dogs on a leash?
Do not feed the ducks. Yeah,
No ice skating?
They're all at, we created everything. Everything is at Public Works being printed right now in the sign shop. And then those will also be part of the ads that we add out there.
Okay, and then, I don't know if you're in charge of it or Greg's in charge of it. When they're renting Lufkin, signs for like, do they sign it in their agreement? There's no grills, there's no liquor, there's no inflatables? Is that in their lease agreement?
Yeah,
I could-
we don't have, liquor isn't allowed in the parks, so that's part of the
And,
standard.
yeah, it says that
rental.
on there.
Yeah,
Barbecue grills are.
yeah.
Are allowed, yes. We actually just talked with our risk management agency about some things that might help allow them into parks and make it safe for people to use. So they will be allowed, but yes, the rental form that they have spells out everything on the form for them.
Okay,
And we also talk with the renters in advance of their rental.
okay, that's all I got.
There are some cases where people make the appropriate arrangements for a blow-up or something like that. They have to get a certificate of insurance and that kind of stuff. So typically, if you were to see that, they would have made that arrangement
Okay.
ahead of time.
Any other questions?
Is Lions Ball Field going to be up and running this year?
Just for practice, probably.
Just practice, not the field itself for,
We'll shoot, we'll know better when we meet with Upland Design and see how long it's gonna take to put, we kind of want to reorient the field a little bit. And we just got dimensions back from youth baseball. Was that today? or
Yeah,
yesterday?
yeah, they had some good
is
ideas
the
too. so.
adult league not go during the summer, it just goes in the fall? Because usually they use that field as the adult games.
Like
are
the seniors?
seniors?
The senior softballs and
Seniors are in the daytime, they play, right now they're playing out at High Ridge.
they're playing at High Ridge? Okay, so they've moved fields or whatever, they're out.
They seem to be okay with that.
Okay, I just wondered, because I know we had at one time we had 2 fields going out constantly, and it seemed to be more of the adult men leagues or whatever it was. They've moved to High Ridge. How long does that pool have to set? You said you filled the swimming pool?
We added some water, yes. So it is good to go. So yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's clean.
So it
and-
could be cold.
It's really cold,
For the first
yeah.
day of the thing,
It's
but
really
it's filled.
cold, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's ready.
And how many filters are on that pool?
So it's one filter, but it almost looks like fins, but there's 20 of them. Inside of the filter pit, there's a big PVC tube in the bottom that sucks the water from the pit through it. And
Okay.
there's 20 of those filter grids that
Grids?
sit along that.
And we changed all 20 of them?
We did, yes.
Okay.
If you want to see it, we can take you out there.
Sure.
Well, I was just curious when you said
What's the weather?
several
It's a little
filter of
warmer.
whatever it is, warmer
Yeah,
weather.
It's a big pit. And
It's a
they're
big
all-
pit and has all these filters in it that goes through
Yeah.
on the way of the pump, I take it.
right, any other questions? All right, moving on to the Director of Parks and Recreation update.
All right, good evening. Before I give you the update on OSLAD, just want to take this moment to welcome our new program supervisor, Ryan Weiler, to the staff. He's going to be handling athletics and fitness and chipping in on special events. And I was trying to, go back in the Wayback Machine. So in the mid-90s, I think it was just Gina and I as the program supervisors. And then towards the end of the 90s, we added, actually she started part-time as a senior, Jenny Cassell. And then she graduated full-time in the 2000s, so that was 3. And so we've got, with the building opening, we really want to program it, and we needed additional staff. So we added Ryan. We did the interview process early March.
Yes.
March. So welcome to Ryan. We're happy to have him. New programmer. We haven't had one in 30 years. So it's nice to have him on board. So.
Are you saying we haven't had any new programmers in 30 years?
Not new, but
Oh.
additional staff.
Oh, yes.
Sorry. We've had new programmers.
Okay.
Not my mistake.
Yeah, I just
We've had new
wanted-
programmers. We haven't had any additions to the staff. This is the first one.
We've expanded the
We've
table of
expanded.
organization.
This is the
This is
first
the first-
headcount increase
Yeah,
in
headcount
30 years.
increase in
Okay.
30 years.
30 years.
Or so, 25 years. something like
Wow.
that, Somewhere
That's
around.
nice to know.
Yeah, it's nice to
That
have
we're-
on board. And then just a real quick update, it's fun to watch the Hacienda Landscaping start on the project for Lions. If you recall, just a reminder, we applied for the OSLAD grant, and they upped the grant amounts from 400, which we got for our Lufkin Park. They upped the grant amount to 600, so that means the project could be a little bigger. So it is a $1.2 million project, and we were awarded $600,000 from the IDNR OSLAD grant. And they started last Monday, and they're forming out the sidewalks. They poured a little bit of the sidewalks on the east end of the park, and they're going to work their way west and around the building. So it's kind of exciting to see. They've even started to form out where the playground is going to go. And so it's really exciting, and they look to be work, now and through May and end of June, hopefully be done. If weather's good, end of June, but most likely, first, second week in July, they'll be finished with the project. So it's good to have them on board and working, and it's really exciting. Can't wait for that for them to be finished and get the outdoor recreation going again. And then we touched upon last month about summer concerts. So we have 8 Thursdays, 4 in June and 4 in August, and we're all set. Contracts have been signed, so we're ready to go.
Are you gonna
Go
post some?
Motown, sorry now.
That's right, I'm going to see Motown Saturday, so I'll get it out of my system. Are we gonna post them anytime soon?
The
Yep.
Gina's staff, Gina
Working
and
on
the
'em.
staff are working on the brochure. And so once that's ready, we've always put banners up, so we'll have
Yep.
a banner by the concert venue, Cortese
Great.
Park.
So
And
then
then we'll probably
Ryan-
have one here.
Ryan will post something then too, Ryan Pate.
Oh, yeah. We
Or not
actually.
Ryan,
Riley,
Riley.
yeah.
She was at our staff meeting yesterday, and so we discussed it and gave her the schedule. And so once we get all the write-ups for the bands, yes, she'll post it on the.
I think actually I have them. I want to have people, at least 2 people proof it. But yeah,
And then we're just, Zoraida and I have been working on all the closeout paperwork for this place, which was quite an undertaking.
you bet.
We had to, the government and the state wanted, we had to break down the costs for each vendor and provide, either canceled checks or bank statements to prove that we paid these vendors. So that was a big undertaking. We have to list it all out. How many pages, Z? Yeah, 10? I don't know. So we listed out all the vendors, and we also had to list their, the invoice numbers that each vendor charged us, and let's see, the invoice, the check number, and the canceled check or the bank statement. When we did Lovekin Park, we had one vendor, which was Forte. I think Forte was the guys that did the construction. And then we had the 6 or 7 or 8 purchases that we did, like the playground and the spray pad. And so, and that was usually one invoice. You know, the rec center was a big, different animal, where Hargrave, who was the general contractor, I guess.
Hargrave was the general.
You know, everybody had multiple invoices because they've worked all year. So it was a really big undertaking. So thanks to Zoraida, she was the main lady in charge of putting all that together. And we're going to submit that to the state and get our reimbursement, so.
Innovation.
Innovation, yeah. Forte did, they did the skate park. Innovation. That's all I have.
Any questions?
I have questions on the report in the market, where they've got the schedule of the long-term thing. Site prep, you said they started doing the cement, is that, because you have a schedule in here from April 1st to April 21st, site prep. Does that mean they were walking around putting stakes up? What were they?
Right now, what they're doing is they did the prep for the sidewalks.
Okay.
And concrete. So they're, what's the forms? They've pounded it, the forms, and they've got like halfway to the building. It's, you should check it out.
Just walk around it, yeah, because then they've got the cement work after that.
So they're, yeah,
Then-
they're maybe ahead a little bit, but they did just the far east sidewalk and a little bit over by the gym door. They poured that concrete today. So the rest will be going on, and they have to go around the building. The playground, which if you recall, it's not gonna be cement, it's gonna be a poured-in-place surface. It's the first
Okay.
time we've ever had a poured-in-place surface. We've had the AstroTurf, and we've had mulch in a lot of our playgrounds. So this is the rubber poured-in-place surface. It has some design on it, like colors.
Flowers and, yeah.
Flowers and
Okay,
stuff. So
that's what I
Very
wondered,
bright.
because that's going to affect the same time the asphalt work. The asphalt, is that the basketball court?
Basketball and maybe a pathway. We were talking about that earlier. I have to check my,
Yeah.
the design, but there might be a pathway to like the pickleball court.
Pickleball court, okay.
And yes, the basketball court is asphalt.
Okay, the basketball court's the asphalt thing. What's the pickleball court going to be made of? Somebody asked.
I
That's
think it'll
not-
be
That's
asphalt.
a-
Is that asphalt too?
Yeah.
So the pickleball court's also going to be asphalt, so those are both going together.
From my best recollection.
Yeah.
How many fences are going up? I know the neighbors over here are saying there's, what, 3 fences that are going up? They
A
already
property
have.
border fence? Or are
Yeah.
you talking, there's no more fences along the property border that are
Just the
going up.
one fence.
Just the
which
one
was-
fence
which
from
was code.
here across because of the code, right? That
Fence
we
that's
talked
up
about,
is the
right?
fence that's it.
Okay,
Now, there will be a fence around the playground, so the kids don't run around, you know, there's.
Okay.
There's gonna be a fence around pickleball,
the pickleball court, okay.
and then there's gonna be,
Is
it's not
the-
an enclosed basketball court, but where the future parking is gonna be. and
There'll be a
basketball
fence on
court
that
the
side?
east side, there's gonna be, I believe, a fence along that east side
Along
of
the east side
basketball
of the
court.
basketball court, okay. Drainage, we already talked about earlier, so I know where those drainage things are, whatever they're doing, yeah, for the flood control.
That was done with this project. I mean, and I don't know if.
Well, they've got it listed from May 30th to
They're
June
gonna tie
6th.
into
Is that
their
tying
existing-
in, right, for what's already been done? And the last thing was the restoration is, what do they mean by that? that was June 30th to July
That's
11th.
probably
Is
plant
that just,
materials.
huh?
Plant
That was what?
materials.
Plant materials?
Grass.
Grass and all
Yeah,
that stuff to
'cause there's
finish
be
it
some
up?
grass around.
Okay. That was just to finish up the project,
Right.
because otherwise it's placement installment. I figured that's them just going around making sure everything's placed in the right
Well, the
place.
installment would be the playground and the pergola, where the seating area, just on the west side of this building, right on the other side of this wall. There's gonna be a pergola seating area, some game tables, so they'll be installing those.
The placement install. Where's the storybook thing? Is that in
Storybook
that?
Walk is gonna be in that little piece of land.
Correct, but where's that under the listing here? What
Oh,
was
I
the story,
don't, I can't.
or isn't
I
that
don't know,
on
I'd
there?
have to check.
Okay.
when They're gonna do that.
I just wondered whether that is coming
It might,
into
because
effect.
that, they can do like the very last thing.
Last
'Cause-
thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they've got the playground installed, you've got the asphalt for the basketball, you got the fencing installed.
We'll have to
then
check with them
cement
on
work.
that.
I was just wondering where the storybook thing fell into these categories when
Yeah,
we'd get it into.
Check with Hacienda.
Because you put a nice list together to let people know what
Nice
was going
project.
in what order, and it's a nice project
That
list,
was,
so
that was
they,
their list, we asked them for.
Yeah.
The schedule.
well, it was nice to see it, so that people could see how the progress was going.
And then Riley will update, like we did with this building.
Okay.
Maybe, maybe on a monthly, this was a different animal, this building, because WB Olson would provide us the monthly reports and send us the pictures and everything. We don't have that with this landscaper. We'll do some of our own updates and pictures, and Riley will post that on the.
On that, the park concerns, that's what, there was a list for park concerns or whatever it was, but I think that's something different than our updates. Riley just does the updates on the park and rec part of it, right? For
She does
us.
the updates for the whole village.
Right, but the continued report of what's going on here will be on the whole village one, or is it gonna be in
Oh,
park and rec?
it's probably gonna be in the Park and Rec section.
Park and rec session?
Yep,
Okay,
section.
and that's going ongoing. I didn't know if it was just gonna be on the rec. I know she does everything in the
Yeah.
village. I was just wondering what site people would be looking for that on, would be the park and rec
Yeah, I believe it.
update.
We can double check and report back next month. I believe it's Park and Rec site, like the other ones were. The other ones were.
Right, they were all on the park and rec site.
Any other questions? Okay, excellent. Moving on, is there any unfinished business?
I had a question. Is there any updates on the Bollebrook High School Edison Trail thing?
No updates yet, Mike, from the village manager?
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
nothing
no.
to report on yet.
just curious.
When I hear something, we'll let you know.
Any unfinished business? I don't believe there is, but, okay. New business? And I don't believe there is.
We do
Yes.
need to add the elections in, unfortunately. For April, they close out, and then we decide who's going to have the
Oh.
positions, if we're going to
Oh,
change.
okay, yeah,
for-
yeah.
That always happens at our May meeting, because so
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, get that on
Yeah.
the agenda for May.
it's got to be
yeah.
on the agenda for May for our, not that anything's going to change, but we have.
You gotta do the
It's
business,
usually the
okay.
May meeting on the new business at our May meeting on.
Okay.
Right.
Put that on the agenda.
You sure it's
for
not
new
April?
business.
Doesn't everybody's term end at the end of April?
Not everybody. It
No, I mean,
rotates.
for the people that,
That do, yes.
yeah.
That's why the May meeting is where,
They come on, if they're in, and then we have new
You have new
commissioners
people come in May and then vote
in May.
for,
That's why we
Positions.
do the
Goes
thing
on,
on the May
it should
meeting.
have a list of who's up and who's not.
Right, we can give, I'll get that list.
yeah,
I think it's you and I, actually.
it is.
but that's why we have the redevelop of the board on the May, because that's when it changes, I think,
Okay.
every year, is at the end of April.
Moving on to commissioner comments. Mike, do you have any comments today?
I guess I had one more question. I know it's years away, but like, potential pool for like locations.
Yeah, that'll be part of that whole discussion, Mike, with, if the high school, if we get involved and
No.
partner.
I meant like, even if that doesn't work out.
So,
Does, the village own that, where the quarry used to be?
Where the what you, I'm sorry,
The quarry where it used to be?
the quarry?
Yeah,
Which quarry?
not quarry,
Well, it's where the parking lot is now, right? Where
Yeah.
like, right now, it's just a parking lot. Used to be the,
um,
yeah, the right word either.
I don't
They used to
think it's
store and
quarry.
sell all the rock and dirt and stuff there.
Mulch, AK.
And mulch, yeah, they moved to,
Do we own that? It's right
This,
behind it.
this was AK mulch right here.
yeah, I think that's
So he's
what's right
thinking
here.
Rotary Park, maybe.
No,
Rotary
no,
Park.
I think of where they used to have the business that used to be,
So,
all that open space behind
this,
us.
this is gonna be a new project if it ever gets undertaken. The Union project right here, where
Oh,
AK
It's
mulch
supposed to
was.
happen in the fall,
AK
supposedly.
mulch moved at the end of Wildwood. They own that property over there.
Oh, so the village doesn't own that?
No,
Ah, okay. Never mind.
it's AK mulch now. And then we
'Cause
own-
I was thinking
We
that-
own the old, the Rotary Park, which is now a detention area.
I was just thinking
Flooding
that
over that, off of
space
Monterey.
would be a good spot for a pool, but village.
That
doesn't
area
own it,
over
so-
there floods.
Okay,
So, yeah, so that's now,
Could
the
be our
Rotary
own-
is a detention area to help alleviate
Could be our
that.
own free swimming pool on a
They're
heavy
very,
rain.
fill it itself with the flooding water. Wouldn't be too cool, but
Good question, thank you.
I guess I'll keep brainstorming. Also, yeah, no, that's all I had.
Okay. All right. Donna, any
I have
comments?
nothing, thank you.
I
Any
do not
comments,
have any
Sarah?
comments today either,
Oh.
honest.
I will have no comments then today. I think I'll follow the trend. I don't, this quick. Village board liaison comments. He has had to leave early. So,
George was here, he had to leave.
yeah, George was here, but he just left a moment ago.
45.
Village staff comments.
Rec staff is very excited to have a new member on the team, and Greg talked a little bit about Ryan, but he started on the 31st, and I feel like we've been working together for a while now, so he's a good team member, and he's got ideas, and he contributes, when we have meetings, for being a new person, he has that confidence and the comfort level with us, and I think it's going to be a really good addition to the team, expanding. That's all.
Ryan?
No comments, thanks.
Greg?
No comments?
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There are none opposed. We are adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.